It's a new day for a new recipe. I am in the kitchen after we just went to Folly Beach to make my birthday muffins for tomorrow morning, and they're going to be chocolate chip jumbo muffins. This recipe is from, I'm trying to give these people credit, hold on. Oh, it doesn't, oh, Sugar Spun Run, and I've made it before and they're amazing. So let's get started on our recipe. So we're going to start with 4 tablespoons or half a stick of unsalted butter, which we're going to melt in the microwave. So I have it in a little microwavable thing, and we'll do it just a few seconds at a time until it's melted. And we're going to let that cool while we mix the other things together, just so it's not super hot. Alright, so oil and sugar. It said to use avocado oil, which we have some, so we're going to use that. But my measuring cup is occupied by buttermilk, so hold on. Back up. I think I'm going to need both. Okay, so we need, let's say, 1/4 cup of avocado oil. Ew, it's milky. Didn't quite make it there. Shoot. I thought I had everything ready to go, but there's always something. Alright, there we go, 1/4 cup. Ew, that was a funny noise. Alright. So we've got the avocado oil, and then we need our 1 cup of granulated sugar. See, most bakers will just have it already measured out before they start videoing, but I like to show you how to measure it out and level it off. And then into the bowl. Alright, and then we're going to put our butter in there. Gotta get all the butter. See how much more butter came out when you use a spatula? I just tapped it. Alright, so then we're going to whisk that together until combined. Getting that sugar all up in the oils. You could use salted butter, but unsalted butter has more flavor. I can actually just like smell it from up here, like the buttery flavor or smell. Salted butter tends not to have that much, but that's why we add salt later. Alright, and that is combined. Get all that out of my whisk. So now, to the same bowl, we're going to add an egg white, vanilla, and then we're going to whisk all that together and then stir in our buttermilk. The recipe says that the eggs and the buttermilk should be room temperature, which I think helps in the long run. So we've got 2 fresh eggs here from my friend Debbie. So let's combine first the whole egg. Plop. And then, what did we want? The yolk? No, the white. So, okay. Had to work backwards in my head to figure out which one I needed. So they make egg separators, which you can definitely pay for if you want, but also this can work maybe like 19 times out of 20. And you just do this back and forth until you get all that white. Give it a little jiggle. And one more time, should have it all. And that's how you separate an egg. Alright, so we have egg white, and then now our vanilla, homemade vanilla from Kim. And we want how many? Let's see. 1.5 teaspoons. So here's our 1 teaspoon. Oop, that's okay, that's the love. And I have I always put this back on there because I'll spill it everywhere. And that's all I have left. Alright, then we're gonna combine all that together, get them eggs in there. That's another reason you want to let your butter cool, because if those eggs hit the butter and the butter's too hot, then it'll cook your eggs, and that's disgusting. Alright. Now, oh, it popped up on me. We're gonna add our 1/2 cup of buttermilk, which has been setting out. And just pour that in there. I need my spatula. A lot of really amazing muffin recipes call for buttermilk or sour cream, and that just gives it, like, I don't know, more flavor. And I think it makes it like richer. I'm just putting everything over there. Alright, we're going to combine the buttermilk in there, and it's starting to look rich and creamy. Alright, that is combined. So now in our other bowl, our smaller bowl, we're going to do all of our dry ingredients. Let's clean up a little bit first, so that's always good to do. By clean up, I just mean put everything in the sink and get stuff out of my way that I already used, like this giant thing of sugar. And let's scoochy this over so y'all can see better. Okay, so now we're going to put our flour, baking powder, cornstarch, and salt in this bowl. So first we have all-purpose flour. I think this one is King Arthur. And we want 1 3/4 cup. So I got my 1 cup and my 3/4. Look, sometimes you're supposed to like spoon it in there. Nobody's got time for that. Level enough. And 3/4. Okay. Then baking powder. And for that, we need 2 teaspoons, which had vanilla in it, so we're just going to give that a little wipey. 2 teaspoons baking powder. One, 2. Okay, and then 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. I like using cornstarch in baked goods. I feel like it gives it more like a cakey kind of consistency. especially in like cookies, but all right, so 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. I'm running out of cornstarch. All right. And then our salt. And we need 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So 1/2. And there we go. Except a lot of it's stuck in there, so hold on. Okay. So that's our dry ingredients. We're gonna whisk that together. Oh, I need my other whisk. You may have noticed that I haven't preheated the oven yet, and there's a reason to that we'll get to when we fill the muffin tin, but we didn't just forget to do the heat. All right. That is combined. All right, so now we're gonna fold about 1/2 of the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients, and then we're gonna add our chocolate chips because we don't wanna over-mix the batter. So that is about 1/2. Whoop. So with muffins, they can get tough. So if you mix too much, it just has a different texture. So I'm just gonna fold just until combined, add the chocolate chips and the rest of the dry ingredients, and then continue the rest of the mixing. Alright, I think that's good. So for this, you can just use whatever chocolate chips you want, but I like using both semi-sweet, but one mini and some also just like regular sized chocolate chips. So we're gonna add those. And it's just 1 cup combined. There's probably lots of crinkling in this part. Oh my goodness. Losing them left and right. And when I do a cup of chocolate chips, I like to make it like a cup. You know what I mean? See? Add some more minis. And then pour them in there. And then the rest of our dry ingredients. Oops, sorry, that was probably loud. And then we're going to continue to fold. So once this is completely combined, we're going to cover it, preheat the oven to, I think it's like a pretty high number. Let me double check our oven temperature. 425, yeah, so it's pretty hot. Let's make sure I got everything. Yep. So we're going to cover this, let it rest. So that's why I was saying earlier, while the oven preheats, we're going to let this sit, which should take about 15 minutes. And that makes a nice dome on top, like those bakery style muffins that you get at your favorite bakery. So we're going to preheat the oven, let this rest, and we'll visit back whenever it's time to prep the muffin tin. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes. The oven is preheated, and we're going to go ahead and fill our muffin tin, I don't know, whatever, and then do the rest of the steps. So first we're going to spray with Baker's Joy because I don't have any jumbo muffin liners, but we're going to use Baker's Joy instead. But we're going to do it over the sink so it doesn't spray everywhere and get all slippery. All right. So let's put that out of the way. We've got our rested muffin batter. So we are going to just pour it in there. And we wanted to fill it all the way to the top, again, because that's going to create that little poof out of the top here. So we got our spatula so we don't miss any of it, and I used the world's heaviest bowl. So let's get that muffin batter in there. This might have been better with like a scoop. It's thick. That's working a little better. Woo. Don't remember it being this thick last time, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, some of those are definitely not to the top. And I thought it would be a little runny, so now I'm a little nervous, but it's gonna be alright. Scoot that guy in there. Oh, that was my clean rag. Oh, okay. So then we're gonna sprinkle the tops with sugar until it's like covered. And it said coarse sugar's the best. All I have is like these coarse sprinkles. I've got colorful ones, gold and silver. So I don't know which one I should use. Which one will look less weird on a chocolate chip muffin? Gold? I don't think I have enough gold. What do you think? Color ones? Alright. Well, maybe I should leave that guy on there. I guess this does make sense because it's more birthday colored. So this will give it like a nice crunch on top. I gotta sneeze. We're going to put them in there for 8 minutes, and then it says without opening the oven, reduce the temperature to 350. So let's put them in there for 8 minutes and then not look at them. Good luck, little guys. And we'll set a timer for 8 minutes. And we'll check on them and reduce the heat in 8 minutes. So the muffins are out of the oven. They are cooked perfectly. It took a little bit for the centers to get done, but now they're ready and turned out perfectly. I love the colored sugar on top. I called dibs on this one in the morning, but now we're just gonna let them cool, and we're not gonna eat them until tomorrow, which I always think that these are best the next day anyway. So yeah. That was our chocolate chip muffin recipe. It's a new day for new recipes. That's a new day for a new recipe, because I'm only doing one.